What's up everybody, this is Kev the Short Shot back with another video. In today's video I'm going to be talking about the Zoom Sampletrak 224 and how to load up samples on a smart media card and get them to load onto the sampler. So for this you're going to need a smart media card and you'll need a memory card reader that can hold smart media cards. Now you can get both of these items on either eBay or Amazon. I got this memory card reader off of Amazon for about $30. So next up, we're going to plug this into my laptop and we're going to show you how to load up samples onto the smart media card.
All right, so once you have your smart media card plugged into your card reader, you'll hook it up to your computer. And as you can see here, I'm using a Windows laptop. So I have my USB drive recognized here. And as you can see, it only holds about 15.5 megabytes total. So you have to be really mindful of the samples that you're using. So we'll go ahead and click in here. And I have a few samples loaded up already. The way these samplers work, or this particular sampler works, is you have to name it with a number in order for it to be read once you insert it into your sampler. The way that they use it is a two-digit naming convention. So what I've done here is I have 6 different samples. What I did was the first 3 that I have are drum loops. So I named them 01, 02, 03. And then I have a couple of musical samples that I have, and I've named them 10, 11, and 12. We'll see if we can play one so you just get an idea of how short they are. And play one of the drum loops. All right, so just to give you an example of the process, we'll pull up a sample. We'll go here. All right, this is a sample. It's about 3 megabytes, so it should fit. All right, so we'll copy and then paste. But in order for this to be read by the Zoom sampler, we're gonna have to rename it. So we just right click, hit rename, and then I'll just name it 13. All right. Now we'll go ahead and put this back into the sampler and try to open it.
All right, now back at the Sampletrak, I've got it powered on and I've got my smart media card loaded in the back. So what you want to do in order to pull up the samples that are on your card is you have to hit a combination of buttons here. It'll be the special button, load, and the internal data card. It's kind of a weird combination. But what I do is I hold special, then hit load, and internal data card. And sometimes it takes a few times to get it to work. All right, so now that it's actually in the smart media card, I can use the plus and the minus to cycle through the different samples. So you'll see it kind of matches what we had when we looked at the card on our computer. We've got 1, 2, and 3. Those are like your drum samples. And then we've got 10, 11, 12, 13. Those are your music samples. So we'll load up file 2. That'll be a drum sample. What you do is hit load here. And you'll select a specific pad you want it to load to. So hit load again. It'll take a moment to import. All right, and there's our drum loop. All right, and then we'll take a music sample. I'm going to go back in, do special, load, and internal data card. Oops. And we will use 10. File 10. We'll hit load. And I'm going to put this on bank 2 just in case, or the way I like to do it is kind of change the different banks and assign different samples to the different banks. So I'll use bank 1 for drums, maybe bank 2 for bass, bank 3 for samples, more musical samples. So we'll use bank 2, pad 1, hit load. Take a moment. All right, and now we have a bass line. So we'll just have a little bit of fun with it. See if we can kind of come up with a sequence here. All right, so we'll go back to bank 1. All right. So what I'll do is I'm going to assign this to multiple pads so I can kind of chop it up. So we'll go back to our sampling area up here. Go to pad assign. I'm going to go to sample 1, hit pad assign again, assign it to pad 2. Now it's there. Pad 3. And we'll do pad 4. Now, unfortunately, after you sample it in, I think it samples it at a different bit rate, so you have to bring the pitch back up, unfortunately, for any additional pads. So to do that, you'll go to pad, hit, what is it? Which button is it? 2 for tuning. Right. And then this is the pad that I want to change the pitch for. So I'll use edit 1 here. Alright, and I will change 1 because it's a couple semitones too high. Both at 5 now. Do the same for our others. Alright, so now all of my samples are being triggered at the same pitch. So now what we can do is kind of chop them up so that we can kind of play our own pattern. So we're going to change the start point. We'll go to pad and then hit 3 for start point, and then we'll choose the sample that we want to change. All right. So we want to, with pad 1, we'll use that as the beginning, so it can stay at 0. We'll come out of that, go to pad again, hit end point, which is pad 5, and then choose the sample that we want to use. We'll use the edit 1 to be able to either move up or down, change that value. Alright. So I can truncate it as far as I want. I can go all the way down. We obviously don't want that. So we'll that's a decent part right there. All right, so now we don't have that loop anymore. We just have this kick and a hi-hat. All right, so we will do this again. We're going to change the start point of pad 2, and we're going to chop it right where that snare hits. End point, go to 2. So now that second hit, so just an example of how you can chop these samples up to be able to play different patterns. So we'll go to bank 2 now for our baseline. Actually, what we want to do is assign this. So we'll go to, come out of that. We'll go to pad assign, and we want to go to sample 2. And we'll hit pad assign again. We're going to assign it to pad 2. Pad 3. Alright, so we're gonna think what I'll do for this one is I will keep, actually no, I'll keep the pitch of the bass line with these two. So if I go to tuning, this is at 0 as well as this, so we'll bring pad 1 down to 0. And then basically I'm just going to chop because we got 3 notes and then it plays again, so we'll make 1 chop per note. Start point, and that's good for pad 1. Change the end point for pad 1. All right. Gonna go back, change the start point for pad 2. Change that value. Change our endpoint. And that's the thing about these old school samplers, especially ones that don't have, full LED panels that you can only go by numbers, and basically you're gonna have to use your ear in order to kind of figure out what the chops are. So things aren't gonna be as perfect as they would if I was using my DAW for an example. Last one, start. So now we've got 3 different bass notes on 3 different pads. Alright, and now we'll go to bank 2 and play a bass line.